began his over 40-year volunteer career in India when he joined a local Lions Club there in 1962. He immigrated to Canada in 1980 and has lived in the same house for 23 years near Mississauga Valley Community Centre. Lewis Lawrence is a Cub for life. He joined the Mississauga Central Lions Club almost immediately after moving here. Through the club, he was able to start the Square One Farmers Market. The money generated from the market go to local charities and community services. He is better known as the Mall Rat and says he knows Square One inside and out. He was one of the founders of the Square One Older Adult Centre. The centre named their boardroom after him. He took it upon himself to start funds for September 11th and the India earthquake. Lewis has been married for 50 years to Sophie. He has 4 sons, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. He used to give a speech at Citizenship Court once a month to new Canadian citizens about the importance of making the most of your opportunity here. Find out more about the 1992 Senior Citizen of the Year. Join me, Bina Pandya, when I talk one-on-one with Lewis Lawrence right after this break. Welcome back to One-on-One. I'm your host, Bina Pandya, and joining me today, I have Lewis Lawrence. Lewis, welcome to One-on-One.
Thank you for welcoming me.
You're no stranger to the community and all the work that you've done, but you didn't grow up here. Where did you grow up?
I was born and brought up in Bombay, India, in 1924, and I had my education with the Jesuits in India, and I have 4 boys and a wife, and I did a schooling in India, and thereafterwards started working in Shell, India.
What sort of work did you do in India?
I was an engineer in Shell, India.
And you started your volunteer career there in India too?
At the company itself, I started doing volunteer work for a sports celebrity. So I used to play hockey for the company. So I used to do all entertaining, etc., as I was the president of the Catholic Association for the company. So started actually from the place where I was working. I started as an apprentice in Burma Shell. My father was working for Shell.
Okay.
After graduating myself from the technical college, I was offered an apprenticeship. And finishing my apprenticeship, they offered me a job of a supervisor, and thereafter I was promoted to the terminal, which all the oil tankers, etc., come all the way from the world, and I was in charge of the oil terminal. I worked for 20 years.
Growing up in India, I mean, you did develop your knack for volunteering. Did you have any role models or mentors, or what was the main reason?
Actually, my mother was a great one for charity work, and the first thing that she did was she put me on scouting, and that is how it started. I became a scout, and I ended as a scoutmaster of a school. That is how my mother was a very, very great charity finding for the poor, looking after the poor. So that is how it's in the family.
It's in the family. And how long ago did you come to Canada?
I came here 20 years back. And as I just mentioned, my boys also were presidents of the Leo clubs in Bombay.
Right.
The eldest son took a trip of the university that the Lions sponsored to go around. We also sponsored students from Australia on hosting, and my wife used to run a modern nursery school there also later part of
So you've always been very active in the community, and what was the reason then for shifting from India to Canada?
You see, before I even moved, I retired first in India after 20 years of service. In 1975, my eldest son decided to move to Canada for his further studies, and he sponsored my youngest son. So naturally in 1975, he came in 1981, we followed our young son.
Was it a difficult decision to make to
leave?
No,
not at all. Being in the Lions Club and mixing up with all this, I think I had no difficulty at all.
When you first came here, what was your first impression?
The place was very clean, especially Mississauga. Shopping center, not that I was so anxious about shopping, but it was clean. Medical attention is very good here. We have also got very good hospitals there, working for Shell India. We have the best of hospital and best of the, but out here, the municipal hospitals are very, very good. The municipal hospitals like here are Mississauga Hospital, Credit Valley Hospital, and seniors are treated very well too.
When you first came here, how did you get involved with the community?
As soon as I landed here, from India, the international office wrote a letter to the president, to the governor of the Lions Club, saying that we have a very valued lion who has gone into Canada, and so they immediately got in touch with me, and I joined the Lions Club. The first project that I did was I took a batch of students,
Right.
who are either they were disabled, known as the Disney World. I went to the Disney World with them, spent 24 hours, 4 o'clock in the morning, and came at night. That is their last wishes. So, and the Lions Club used to support. So I went, and that was my first project when I came to India.
So these are children who are terminally ill that you
Yeah,
spend the day
terminal,
with?
yes, terminally ill people. And after that, they wanted me to look after the farmers market, which we have run so well for 33 years. The Lions Club of Mississauga Central is the only club that has donated $5 million in 33 years for the stroke break people, for the sick, for the disabled, for the school children, and you name it.
Well, they're definitely doing a lot of good work for the community. When you began your volunteering here, was it very different from volunteering in India?
No, not very much. But there what happens is, when you are a Lions Club member in India, we don't have to worry about money. We are all business people or companies. Those who become members in Lions, and the clubs are not very small like India, like Bombay. I'm sorry, like Canada. They've got 60 or 70 members in a club. And there's a lot of projects, you know. We've got a lot of poor people there.
Yes.
So we have camps, eye camps, medical attention. We have such a lot of this. So we have not to worry about finance to look after the poor people there.
Well, that definitely makes volunteering
Yeah.
much easier. We'll be back right after the break with lots more with Louis Lawrence. Welcome back to One on One with Louis Lawrence. Louis, you said you were very involved with the farmers market. Why do you think the farmers market is important to a local community and the local farmers?
See, what happens is we get quite a lot of farmers who come in. You get farm produce, Ontario grown produce. In the beginning, of course, we have to sell American produce because Canada doesn't produce very much until July, August. As soon as the Ontario produce comes, we go down with the American produce.
Okay.
So we get fresh produce, and we run it from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the money that we get from the farmers market helps the needy people, the school children, scholarships, hospitals. We send money to the Mississauga Hospital, Credit Valley Hospital, St. John Ambulance. So that helps not only for the people to buy fresh food, fresh products, but also helps people to donate this money to the people who are in need of it.
I mean, we all go to the farmers market and, you know, we appreciate the fact that we can get fresh produce, especially locally grown produce. Just how much planning the whole year goes into the whole committee and just arranging everything?
The planning is only from June. We have a chairman who is appointed, the chairman of the farmers market,
Right.
and he looks after everything. But when they go back home in October, they reserve their seeds, they pay their money for 1 year in advance, and we bank that money, and we have a bond given to them that their money is safe.
Okay.
So it's about $150,000 deposited in the bank, and that is one of the way donations can be given.
So it's grown into quite a large
Plus
operation.
we also run bingo side by side.
Okay, so entertainment also.
Another 50,000 by way of bingo.
Okay. And then you also were active in raising funds after 9/11 for the victims of it?
Yes. Now what happens is, Square One, we, as you know, we have our business from the Square One auditorium, which the Square One has given us, but we have a condition with Square One. Any projects that being done has to be through the Lions Club, and Square One gives a lot of help to us. So we ran not only the AS711, we also ran earthquake for India, and then the New Orleans when they were in trouble, and any projects like that we run. But it takes a lot of time. You don't only have a chairman, but you have to have at least about 25 to 30. We get the help of the police, we get the help of the St. John Ambulance, Fire Brigade, the local seniors, and we have about 25 to 30 people. The committee is only 4 people, but the people who help. And we have the blessings of the mayor and all the people to give us letters of recommendation.
Well, obviously it's an entire community effort, but why do you personally believe that volunteering is very important to the community that you live in?
I think volunteering has to be the issue, because if everybody has to look into this, where can you get their money from otherwise? So with the help of the volunteers who put in such a lot of precious time, and others like seniors who have nothing to do, they would also be helpful to us. So that is why we have seniors auditoriums here at both places.
Do you think jumping into volunteering made your transition from India to Mississauga much easier?
Back home, for getting finance and so on was much easier, because we used to look after cataract operations and all that sort of a thing. Here, if you don't have such like the bingo or farmers market, it is difficult for us to get money. And secondly, to get members here is not that easy, because husband and wife both are working.
Yeah, that's a reality of today.
Yes, back home the wives are homemakers and the men go to work. Although my wife used to run her own school, but otherwise that is how the problem is. It's very, very easy. And then you meet people like Mother Teresa, with her looking after the poor, and I had the privilege of meeting her at the Children's Aid Society.
Okay, we'll just hold that thought there, and right after the break we'll be back with Lewis Lawrence. Welcome back to One on One with Lewis Lawrence. Lewis, in addition to all the volunteering you've done here, you mentioned that you met Mother Teresa. How long ago was that?
That was about 1978.
How did you personally feel meeting her?
Oh my God, you felt like a real saint. You see, you knew what she was doing. Of course, we knew what she was doing, but you could actually see her.
And why did you meet her?
I was the chairman for the Lions Club, attached to the Children's Aid Society.
Right.
I was also on this medical conference of the doctors. I was the transport secretary. So both these places, she came for the opening of the Medical Association International, and she came there. So that's how I met her. And plus I was in transport business. I sent our luxury car to transport her from our airport. So that's how not
you
only
got the opportunity, life sort of opportunity of
it's a rare
meeting.
opportunity to meet.
Well, here I understand that in Square One you founded the senior center there.
Actually, how it happened was, when I first came here, there's a senior center at Katra,
Right.
and they were looking out for seniors games and for building donations. So I was on the building fund,
Okay.
on the executive committee, and also on the building fund on the seniors games. Now seniors games is Seniors Ontario Games. I was on that, both the committees. And the Lions Club used to fund the seniors game to a certain extent along with others, because they required funds, and that's how I came to Lions. So it all started with Katra Center. After that, the mayor and all were interested in having another center,
All right.
and the Lions were looking out to open a center by themselves. So the Square One came forward and said to me, would you help us out? We will give you all the help we require. And I was approached by the then commissioner of the city, whether I could help them out. So I was on loan from the Lions Club to the city and
Okay.
Square One to start this new operations.
Where does the funding come for the center?
At the present, in the beginning, what happened was we got the 7 communities together: the Chinese, the Philippines, the Goans, the Sikhs, and the Iranians. These are the communities we had to go. It's an ethnic group. Lands.
So it caters to the entire multicultural area of Mississauga.
And we have 1,500 members. That's how I started. And government is funding it. City Hall is funding it to a certain extent. And we have practically square one helping us out. The Lions Club have donated nearly 75,000 in this 15 years. We are celebrating 15 years of this square one Old Rural Center.
Well, congratulations on your milestone. But what are some of the challenges that you faced in setting up this
Beg your
center?
pardon?
What are some of the challenges that you faced?
Challenges is only, you see, seniors, every time they say we want this or we want that. And it's not that easy. You don't get donation that easily from the government or from the City Hall. Challenges is money. If you have money, then we can go ahead.
What are some of the services that you offer there?
We have line dancing there, bingo, tai chi, then we have crafts, exercises, and on every Saturday and Sunday, each of these communities get it by 4 hours at a time, which other community centers don't give them. So they can get their friends and relations, have a party, have a joint fun together. And then we have an auditorium there. They can hire the auditorium and have fun. It's really, they don't know where to go. Some of them are widows, some of them are bachelors and spinsters, old. So this is a place for them to come and meet. So from Monday to Friday, it is open for any and every senior that is a member. You have to be a member. And that is how we collect a very, very nominal sum for membership.
Well, that sounds like an amazing center that is catering to a lot of seniors, and I'm sure they appreciate it. After the break, we'll be back with lots more with Louis Lawrence. Welcome back to One-on-One with Louis Lawrence. Louis, you've won many awards for all the great things that you've done in the community. Which is the most important one to you?
The most of Lianism is the one that given to me by the our club. Is the Melville Jones. It is the highest award in the international that one can get. And there are many other awards like the Knights of the Blind for the Blind and so on. So all these awards at different stages were awarded to me.
When you get these awards, how do you feel emotionally?
I feel at least that I have done some good, because my father always said to me, do no harm to anybody if you can't do any good. So I think this is for the good that I am doing for the needy, for the seniors, and that is coming back to me.
And how has the city recognized you?
The city has recognized, you see, when I was the president in 1991, they built I requested them that they should have a park in the name of Lions Club. So at the Mississauga Valley, they built a park, which is, and they put an emblem of Friendship Park for the Lions Club of Mississauga Central. And in 2 years back, I was the president again, they named one of the auditoriums of the Mississauga Central Lions Club. Now we have been the center at Mississauga Valley is mostly for children who cannot afford to have summer vacations, to summer holidays. We donate every year $10,000 for stroke, for those who suffer from stroke, for swimming, for the children to be out of mischief, to play around this center.
Right.
And we have given them $445,000 for this 25 years that we had there. And I feel very happy that the City Hall has done that for our club. Our club is very well recognized.
Well, you've given so much to the community. How important has your wife's support been throughout this?
My wife, since the day I have met her till today, she has given me enormous support. She is specialized in teaching and music. She not only helped me, but she helped the Lions Club in India. She had a choir, special choir for the children, where It used to go for all the conventions, international visits, and for that, the Lions Club gave her a silk sari with the Lions Club embossed on it. Without her help, I don't think I would have achieved everything. It is said that besides every successful man is a lady, and I think she is one.
Well, obviously you both complement each other very well. You have a very interesting motto. Can you tell us about it?
I hope you don't mind, I'll read it.
No, go ahead, please.
I shall pass through this world but once. Therefore, any good that I can do and any kind of act that I can perform for any fellow creature, let me do it now, for I shall not pass this way again.
Well, hopefully we can all get inspiration from your motto there. Louis, are you happy with your decision to come here?
Very
Especially to
much.
Mississauga.
Yes, very much. Having decided to come to Canada, we were very, very happy that my eldest son took that decision and my youngest son followed. We are quite happy here. I've got 3 boys here and 3 daughter-in-laws. I have 7 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, and I don't think we could have got a better place than Canada.
Well, I'm sure your family is very proud of what you've done. But tell me, you're so busy in the community doing everything. Do you ever have time for yourself?
Especially when I'm at home, then I assist my wife. She's a very excellent cook. And I help her with the dishes, cleaning of them, cleaning of vacuuming. And the rest of the time, a little time, the library is opposite our house, Mississauga communities, and I go up there, and that's how we spend time.
Well, obviously you're making very good use of your time. What do you hope to do in the future?
At least till my health provides, I intend carrying on the same. The day my health does not permit me, then probably I may have to stop.
Well, we thank you for all the work that you've done in the community, and we wish you continued success in the future, and thank you for being here on One on One.
And thank you for all that you have. I have been complimented.
Well, it's been our pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure we'll see you around in the community.
Thank you.
That wraps up another episode of One on One. I hope to see you here next time.
Venus clothing was provided by Nygaard. One on One was videotaped on location at Ethan Allen.